Hey everybody, it's Nick with Two Brothers Comics. Today we have a very special show for you tonight. I'm rocking the quarantine hair, and I think you're going to enjoy what we have coming up. It's very new, very interesting, so stick around. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, everybody. Doing good. So, Kinney, Aiken, you are a new comic book artist, right? Comic book writer, we'll say.
We could say creator. I do writing and coloring right now. So
okay, so you're doing a little bit of all of it. And so tonight we want to talk to you guys about Apex Cybernetic Samurai Owl. But before we jump into that, man, I just wanted to have a little bit of an introductory conversation with you, talk a little bit kind of how you got into this, because to me, that's always one of the most interesting things, kind of how people get into comic books, what drove them to, being collectors or readers, but then also kind of taking the next step into being a creator. So Kinney, I guess what started it for you? What started your love for comics?
Oh man. So I think it's like X-Men #1, Jim Lee. I think I got one like at Toys R Us, like when I was like probably 12, probably. It was a big old fold-out cover, My dad was always a huge fan of X-Men, so like we always, like when the cartoon came out, obviously we watched that a lot. It's probably where a lot of people my age got started into comics. But more recently, though, I just got back into art. I had a work injury, and I've been disabled for about 8 years now, 9 years. Maybe even longer than that. Yeah. And just like 5 years ago, I just got back into art and painting and drawing and stuff. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna make a comic. And a couple little things happened here and there. Little iterations. Started out trying to make web comics. It didn't really take hold. It just kind of snowballed into making a full comic.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely, man. So you said you kind of got into after being away from comics for a long time. Is that kind of what it was, or were you still collecting during that time period where you were kind of deciding on what you were going to do? Or
I kind of just fell out of it for a long time. I think it was probably from the time I was like 16 till I was probably 27, 28. I really didn't get into too much into comics or even art. Really, I was just working and doing that kind of thing.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, let's say hey to a couple people in the chat hanging out with us tonight. So 12 Comic Talk. Hello, Justin Birch. How you doing, sir? Tyler, how you doing, my friend? John, hello. What's up, everyone? Superior, how you doing? What's going on, Austin? Glad to have you. Thanks for everybody being here. And then Ryan, how you doing, sir? Comics and death metal. Killer beard, he says.
Oh, thanks, man.
All right, so let's jump right into it. So I'm going to share the screen off over here to the Cybernetic Kickstarter. So let's talk a little bit about this, kind of the influence of it, and all that good stuff. Let's see if we can't get it. You want to show this first? You want to let it play?
Yeah, we can let that play. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, can you hear the music?
Yeah.
So this is the trailer. Now, while the credits are rolling, let's talk a little bit about some of the influences here. So, obviously, it's set in Japan, correct?
Yep, it is set in Japan. It's in the future of Japan. It's got a pretty ambiguous date. It's 20XX, so it's kind of a throw to the old Mega Man games and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
I'm a huge Mega Man fan, so I was like, man, if I make a comic book, I got to make something that's just like, it's just honoring that Mega Man thing. And obviously love the X-Men. They're like my most favorite superheroes of all time. So just kind of trying to put put as much of my what's influenced me as a person in comics and stuff like that, and without going, taking too much, but just kind of, just love it and just show my love for the things that I love,
Absolutely. So, and it says here in who's the creator section, and guys, if you haven't seen the link, it's in the description, so you can go check it out. And yeah, Tyler, he does have a Twitter and Instagram. If you look at the top left up there, it's at Kenny Aiken Art. And if you can't see that, I will actually drop it down in the description afterwards. But so the link to this is in the description. But one of the things I noticed when I was scrolling through here was you're currently studying art and Japanese, which obviously is a huge influence on this, right? And
yes.
You talked earlier, you kind of have recently gotten back into it. But what pulls you into that Japanese style? What has you interested in kind of pursuing that a little bit?
Oh man. I really don't know where that came from. It just feels to me like one day I just kind of woke up. I was like, I want to learn how to speak Japanese, and that's just kind of what it is. I mean, I'm not a super huge anime fan. I mean, like I watch like the essentials like Dragon Ball and some and maybe some like the less popular ones too that I couldn't even name off the top of my head because they're just so obscure. But Evangelion's one that I was probably the first anime I ever watched. But yeah, I've just always been kind of fascinated with Japan, and then one day I'm like, hey, I'm going to learn this stuff. So, and it's been about a year now. I'm doing okay with it. I can read almost anything. It's the speaking's a little tough sometimes, and stringing together sentences is kind of rough too. But
that's awesome though, man.
It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about the story here. So, Apex, Cybernetic Samurai Owl, the story. Okay, so let's give, I know we played the trailer, but let's talk kind of through this section of it and kind of what it is and kind of have a discussion on what the story is specifically and what people can expect out of this once they back it.
That's where we at here. Let me pull this up over here too so I can see it.
Yep, no problem.
All right, so basically, where the hell did it go? Wrong button. Okay. So basically the story is about Apex. He's a cybernetic samurai owl, so as the title says, and he's created as a weapon for evil, for a corporate like weapons kind of manufacturing kind of thing that gets in a lot, does a lot of experimentations and crazy mad scientist shit. And they create this weapon, and it doesn't work out for them. It escapes, murders like everybody, and it escapes and becomes hooks up with this guy, this old samurai master, and becomes learns to be a samurai, and then ends up becoming a hero.
Awesome, man. So it kind of sounds like this Japanese version of like Weapon X or something.
It's there are some parallels there, yeah, for sure.
Did you pull from some of that stuff? I know you said your love of X-Men.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So I know right now this Kickstarter campaign is specifically for issue number 1, correct?
Yes.
So how many issues do you kind of have in line for the story for the series?
Right now I have 3. We're just about done with issue 2. I'm doing the colors on issue 2 right now, and then I'm going to send them over to Justin as soon as I get them done. For letters, and then that issue will be done. Okay. And then issue 3, as soon as we get done with this, as soon as Brian gets done penciling issue 2, I'm sending him the script for issue 3. We're going to work on that, and then I have another arc plan that's like outlined, but it's not written totally yet. So.
Okay. So are you going to do the additional issues 2 and 3 on Kickstarter as well?
I think that's the plan. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect, man. So let's talk a little bit about some of kind of, I guess, what you get, right, for your tiers. So I know, let's start off with just the $5 tier, right? So that's issue number 1 in a digital format, correct?
Yep.
And then for $10, people can go on, back it, and you get the cover A. Does that also, in print, but does that also include the digital? Or tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm going to add the digital to it. So I this is kind of an afterthought. I didn't think about it when I was putting it together, but yeah, I'm going to send anybody who backed it a physical tier is going to get the digital as well.
Fantastic. And then for $20, Tell them what they get.
So for $20, they are going to get the So this is a Kickstarter exclusive cover. I'm just making these for Kickstarter. And this one was drawn by the Corpse Crew, and these guys are from the Tri-State area.
Okay.
Blair Smith, Ken Haser, and Buzz Hassan. And these super cool dudes. They knocked this thing out a couple years ago for me, and I reached out to them recently. I'm like, hey, can I use this for a cover? And they're like, fuck yeah, dude, do it up. So
awesome, man. So, well, that brings up a really good question then. So how long has this actually been in the works? I know you said they did this a couple of years ago. So have you been working on it for that long? I mean...
Yeah, so originally I started out, I wanted to do a webcomic because I just wanted something simple that, just kind of get my feet wet and kind of play around and, have a little bit of fun. And my good friend Garrett Gunn, who is, does Franklin and Ghost, he's like, hey, why don't you just make a whole book? I'm like, fuck that shit. I don't want to deal with that. And he's just, come on, man, just do it. And, I went through a lot of the motions. I resisted pretty much almost everything he said, but, I mean, I really did. And I was kind of a pain in the ass about it. But I did like 3 pages of this web comic thing that I never like published on any web comic places. I was just going to like save them up until I had like a whole bunch. Yeah. And that was in about 2017, I think. Oh, wow. So it took me about a year to get the whole script done because, with juggling school and art commissions and this and that and my kids and all that stuff. Because I'm the stay-at-home component of the family unit for the kids. So it took me until about summer 2018, I finished the script. And then it took me a little while to realize that I need to not do the whole thing on my own. And, so it took me a little while there too. October of last year, I got Brian on board, and Brian's been penciling and inking the book, and I've been coloring it. So we've been getting so much shit done. It's crazy.
Absolutely. And that was one of the things I was going to show up here. Let me pull this back up because this was really cool. So I don't want to bypass some of these other ones, but so this is some of the original artwork that you can actually get. Now, is this stuff that you've done? You've obviously inked, but is this stuff that he's done the pencils for and stuff like that, and then you inked over it, or?
These ones are actually 100% me. So those are 11 by 17 boards I did for the original webcomic thing.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's kind of a weird thing too because I don't even draw like that anymore. It's pretty old, but that was like right when I was starting to get back into drawing and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna draw this stupid owl thing. But so those are the only 3 pages of that kind of, I guess we'll call it an era that actually exists. So
that's pretty cool though, man. That's awesome. And to part with that's a big deal. But so let's continue down this path, showing everybody exactly what it is. So for $30, we talked about that. You're going to get basically the cover A, cover B, a hand-drawn sketch card by either you or Garrett, correct? Correct. And you guys will decide on that. And then for $50, is it you get everything previously and then a sketch cover as well?
This one's just for the sketch cover on its own.
Okay. All right. So that's on its own. And I know there are a ton of people within the community that absolutely love these sketch covers. I mean, really, really enjoy those. Have you done any of these previously? Do you have an example? Or are you waiting till everything kind of wraps up before?
I don't have any examples of those. And actually, you know what? I have a box of other sketch covers that I don't know where they're at, but yeah, somewhere around here. Yeah, I do them every once in a while. I've done some with acrylic paint. I've done just different kinds of things, Copic markers, and I try all kinds of stuff. So
can Garrett even draw?
He would say no. I mean, he's done some questionable stuff. Hopefully he's watching. He's probably not, but yeah, he can draw. He can draw some shit.
That's awesome, man. How you doing, Rod? Hope you're doing well. And then Mark, how you doing, sir? All right, so let me share this back over. All right, we're shared. And then for $75, so you're going to get basically everything, the cover A, cover B, custom water, and then a custom watercolor sketch by you. And that's 10 available. And what size is that going to be, like an 11 by 17 too, or what is that going to be?
Those ones are, I believe they are 6 by 6.
Okay.
So those are about, they're just little teeny guys.
Yeah. Okay. So just kind of slightly over the sketch cards then.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
6x6 I have on here.
And then our best value here. So for $75, the Apex Cybernetic Samurai Owl, cover A, cover B, custom, and then the custom sketch cover. Which, yeah, absolutely, man. That's a fantastic deal there. And then here's where we're getting into some really awesome, kind of very limited things, right? So you're going to get a 6x9 original piece of art by you on top of some of the previous things. And then we talked about this too earlier, just a minute ago, right? Some of your very original, very specific original art. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read and talk. Art by you specifically. So it kind of looks like, man, that there's a little Angry Bird up there in the top left. I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah, he's a little pissed. Yeah, so the original concept was he was just this overpowered bird that just basically just fucks everything up, right? So like, as you can see, like there's this giant T-Rex attacking Tokyo. Yeah. He just goes in and just one-shots him, right? So same thing on the next page. It was just so you can't see it in there because I added the lightsaber effects afterwards, but they're kind of like lightsaber. It's a lightsaber wielding cyborg octopus. So awesome. and he's just coming in from Tokyo Bay, and he just goes out there and fucks him up. But then so the next page was about because he's an owl, he sleeps during the day. So I thought it'd be funny if he had like some like Looney Tunes style adventures. So in that scene, he's trying to sleep, and this faucet keeps dripping, and it just pisses him off until he just destroys the whole house.
That's awesome, man. And I love the samurai swords on the back there. That's fantastic. So, I mean, it's a really large growth from this, and I say growth, but just different character form from kind of what you have in these sketches to kind of what we see now in the 11x17. I'm assuming this is, and based on the artwork too, I mean, this character has developed quite a bit from that original kind of webcomic theme, right?
Yeah, so this picture right here is this is the Corpse Crew's take on Apex.
Okay.
So that's the original artwork for cover B.
Okay, fantastic, man. And let's see. So that was the original, and then this is kind of what the color for now, but it's not final. That's the same image, right?
Yeah, so those are sample colors that I did on that piece. I did those last year. So I actually just got the colors back in on from Blair. So I'm going to be sharing those here pretty soon. Actually, let me see if I can share it with you, and maybe you can get it up on the screen.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And so why he's pulling that up, guys. So again, I encourage everybody to check the link out in the description to the link to the Kickstarter. There's actually less than 24 hours left on this Kickstarter. Okay. I believe there is 17 hours to go. It's only $300 away from hitting the next basically pledge goal, right? Backer goal, I believe is what they're called.
Mm-hmm. Stretch goal. Stretch goal. You would think I would know these by now after the amount of time I've spent on the Spawn Kickstarter, waiting until the last second to kind of decide on that. But stretch goals. And that one did really well, didn't it? The Spawn one? It blew up like crazy. And I still think Justin's going to regret not moving forward on it. So we'll see. But yeah, I think it was set for like 500,000 and it passed a little over 3 million and some change. Wow. So not a bad chunk for a month. gotta get some of that McFarlane money, man. Isn't that the truth? And he planned it at the right time. People weren't spending money on comic books, and I mean, he couldn't have asked for a better time, I think. But were you able to get that pulled up so you could share it? I sent it to your Instagram. Let me see if I can send it. Okay. Let me send it to your Facebook. Actually, that'd probably be a little easier to pull up on your computer, right? Well, I can actually pull it up. I got my Instagram tab right here. While I'm pulling that up, talk a little bit about this current stretch goal you have. So let's see. Currently, we are at we unlock stickers. So everybody's gonna get a die cut sticker with their order, and then the next one is so I printed a box of first appearance ash cans, and I was handing them out to people when I went to Portland. I went to Wizard World in Portland, and I've given a couple of them to some friends, and I had a bunch of them left over. So I was like, this is the first thing I've ever printed as far as Apex goes. I figure why not make it a reward for people to get their hands on. Super collectible. It's like very first appearance of pretty much all of the characters. So they're all in there. And I mean, you slab it and put it in your collection, you'll probably be, hopefully worth something one day.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome. All right, let me hit the share screen on this. I took a screenshot. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. That and hopefully everybody can kind of see it a little bit better. I had to take a screenshot of it before it disappeared. Why did it not zoom in? Oh well. But that thing. Now, do you have you posted this to your Instagram yet? Or
I literally just got it like 5 minutes before we went on. So he just sent you. So you guys are like the first people to see it. So
that's awesome, man. That looks really good. And who did the coloring on this? Blair?
Blair Smith. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Now, tell me who is all on the team for this, right? So obviously you, Justin, Birch, and then kind of talk to me through some of the other people on the team here.
So I got Brian Belando. He is the penciler and inker. He does it all digitally. I think he uses Procreate. I'm pretty sure. And then Garrett Gunn is editing the book. Okay.
Now, is he kind of like an independent editor, or is he with anybody at all?
He is with SourcePoint Press and on his own too. So he does his own independent stuff too.
That's awesome, man. And I tell you, that's one thing I've really kind of, once we started these creator interviews on the channel, it's really interesting to see just how much support there really is within the comic book community from the creator standpoint, right? I know you said that kind of offline, you had a big influence from some other people, right? Some other creators that you were friends with, and they kind of pushed you to do this. So I think that's really absolutely fantastic, man. Now, I know you started this thing kind of as a webcomic, but where did the Apex, the Cybernetic Samurai Owl, what was the infancy for this thing? I mean, what one day sparked, said, I'm going to do a comic book about Apex?
Okay, well, let's see here. Well, so just recently, I actually found these drawings in my garage of this stupid thing I used to call RoboHawk. So it's pretty obvious that the seeds were planted for this way before I even thought of it. Yeah. But I used to draw this stupid cigar smoking robot Falcon or whatever the hell, RoboHawk. I don't even know what the hell he was. But he had like this gear for an eye, and he had red eyes, and he was orange, and he smoked cigars, and he was just this bird thing. And it's really just kind of a silly thing. But I was actually trying to come up with some ideas for something with a friend of mine, and we are friends, but it didn't really work out with us, as creators, and we kind of went our separate ways on that project. And then afterwards, I'm like, okay, well, let's just I'm just gonna do something on my own, and that's I just started doing this.
Yeah. How long has it taken you to really develop the storyline into this point? I know you started it as a webcomic, but I mean, kind of walk me through. So I know originally it was the webcomic. How does that story then compare to what it is now? Obviously, it seems like it's, I don't want to say grown up's not the word, but it feels like it's become, it feels different, right? From your original sketches to what it is now. It definitely feels like it's matured quite a bit. I mean, how has the story changed over that time?
Well, I figured if I was going to write it into a full book, I think I had to have a more fleshed out story and a more, maybe a more serious tone. I don't know that, nobody really likes an overpowered character. I think like in the case of One Punch Man, it's kind of okay. But like, I mean, for the most part, like overpowered characters, I think are kind of lame. So I thought
like the Superman syndrome, you don't want that, right?
Right, exactly.
Or nobody can touch Superman. I think that was one question I always wondered when I first started collecting comics is, I feel like Superman would have been more popular than it really is among comic book readers, but ultimately it's why even read about it, because Superman's never going to lose. I mean,
right. Except for unless there's like a bald random dude like that has no ability to do anything whatsoever. It's so weird, right?
Yeah, it has to really be written, but it's like you don't feel like you have something to lose. And that's why I love independent comics, because you get a lot of that world building. You get vulnerable, maybe not necessarily the word I'm looking for, but you get high risks, right? And you really don't know what to expect out of it. Superman stories have been done time and time again, Flash, Batman, etc. But we're getting something new here, right?
Right.
And so, but anyways, but you were kind of going down the line of, not really in overpowered character and,
oh yeah. So yeah, I just didn't really want, I really thought I'd have to drop that, he's like really super overpowered part and maybe bring in some other characters that are maybe more powerful than him and just kind of, have some dynamic in that way. But I also didn't want to like write this giant like Looney Tunes thing, right? I think it's okay in like short bursts, right? When you're doing like these little shorts, where you have like this comic humor. But for this, I thought if it was going to be bigger and more fleshed out, then I can have elements of that somewhere in there. But for now, I thought it would be better to just flesh out the world and then maybe come back to that later.
Yep, absolutely, man, absolutely. Now, I had something else I wanted to talk to you about with this. And one of the other questions I wanted to get to is kind of your art style, your influence when it comes to this. And talk to me a little bit about that, kind of where it comes from and your inspirations for some of these things.
So for the interiors, Brian is, I don't know if you've seen if you scroll down to the bottom of the page there, Brian is just doing this phenomenal job, just bringing this thing to life. When I first started, and maybe one of these days I'll show this to people because they're not very good, in my opinion. My original pages I drew for the first like 9 or 10 pages. I actually did them. If you scroll down more, it's all the way down for the interiors of the book.
Let's see. Let's keep going.
Let's see here.
I love those stickers, man. Okay, here we go. It's loading up.
So let's see here. That's by Nick Torres. That's a print we did. So if you go a little further down, yeah, this thing's really long. Okay, that's for issue 2.
Okay. We're going.
Okay, it goes for a while, I know, right?
There's lots of good content in here, guys. Oh man, that's a really good shot of that.
I love that piece so much. So good. Okay, so for interior. So yeah, this is Brian. He's just killing it, man. Like, so I originally drew these first 10 pages on my own, and I never showed these to Brian. I didn't want to influence his art. So as an artist myself, I felt that it'd be important for me to just let him go wild and just do it how he wants to do it. So I sent him a script, and he sends me back these amazing pages. And I mean, every time he sends me something, I'm like, whoa, dude, like, what the hell? This is awesome. Like, I don't even know why I'm surprised anymore. Every time he sends me something, he sent me one this morning, and I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, and the first issue is fucking phenomenal in my opinion. And the second issue, he's sending me back stuff, and I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, he's really starting to like, settle into this and run wild with it. So,
and I tell you, man, the colors on these, absolutely gorgeous. I mean,
thank you.
Really nice. And man, I mean, the colors lend so well to the artwork.
Yeah, I love coloring his stuff. He's been sending me, I've been asking him to send me some of his own personal pieces that are not colored. I'm like, hey, can I color these? Because I just love coloring his work. So
now, were you pretty much self-taught, or did you go to school at all for any of this stuff?
So I took a few painting classes in 2016 up until now. So I pretty much regularly stay with the painting classes at the community college.
Okay.
Just to force me to go sit for 3 hours and not do anything but paint. Because otherwise I'm too distracted to paint. So I go and use the studio. I take the class at the college. I go and use the studio, and I do oil painting and acrylic painting and stuff like that. And my original goal before going to college was to study color theory and color and painting and just basically anything to do with coloring and stuff like that. So, and then with the digital stuff, I just been learning over the last couple of years, just a little bit at a time, just, coloring digitally and stuff like that. And this is where I'm at right here. So
it looks really good, man. I love the color palette. It all blends really well. I mean, it looks really, really good. And then of course, got to point out the example, the lettering by Justin Birch. Look at that, guys. Look how Japan some time ago.
It's so good.
So good.
It wasn't until Justin sent me the pages back, and I got the pages back from Justin, and I'm like, it's a real book. It's fucking real. Like, and then when I first sent my got my proofs back from the printer, I got those back. I'm like, oh my God, it's a real book. Like,
well, what was that like for you, man? I mean, because obviously this has been a passion project for you for the last few years. I mean, was it everything you expected it to be?
It was pretty cool. I was like, it's like you're just holding it in your hand. You're like, this is my baby right here.
Yeah.
I've been working on this thing for a long time. It's a little crazy. I think like even with like running the Kickstarter, it's like I look at the amount of people that are back. I think there's like 100 and something backers, maybe like 128, and I'm just like, before I put it up, I'm like, I'm gonna have to like strong arm all my family into like backing this thing, and like twist everybody's arms and shit. And it hasn't been like that at all. And everybody's been like super receptive about it. And like people like message me like, hey, this looks really cool. And I'm like, wow, it's pretty cool feeling.
Absolutely, man. I mean, this is something you should definitely be proud of. That's fantastic. I mean, it's backed, it's official. You've met, your funding goal. So, basically officially a published comic book artist. I mean, that's a comic book creator. I'm sorry. I mean, that's a freaking awesome thing, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
So, well, let me ask you this. I mean, so obviously this has been your baby. This is what you're working on, 1, 2, and 3 and some additional stories. But are you working on anything outside of Apex?
I got a few little things that we like kind of shot some ideas around before that. One of them that I really want to get on this year is this story that me and Garrett were talking about a couple years back that I just totally like put on the back burner, but I want to get back to it this year. It's called Cluck.
Okay.
And it's basically it's going to be a kind of a parody to like Power Rangers or Voltron, and it's just some stupid ass chickens that end up somehow getting these. I won't go into the details of how they get them, but they get these giant fighting robots that combine into a giant chicken robot called Poltron, and they're like literally stupid fucking chickens. They don't have no intelligence. They're just like regular farm chickens that just do farm chicken things, and that's it.
Oh my God.
And it's just going to be some silly thing. So yeah, we got the script. We got an outline for the script. I think Garrett sent me one a while back that I wanted to go over again. And then I don't know how we're going to do it yet, but it's in the works. It's in the works. That's
so awesome, dude. That is so fantastic. And I wish Dustin was here. He's got some personal things going on. And but anyways, Chicken Power Rangers, dude, that's fantastic, man. Well, let me ask you this for everybody out there. Is it just so two opening up questions? If you have any questions for Kinney, drop them in the chat. The first, we have two, but I want to ask you this question real quick. So it's a constant theme between Dustin and I that Dragon Ball Z is much better than Power Rangers, and it's no competition whatsoever. Obviously, I'm the Dragon Ball Z fan, and I give him crap for Power Rangers. I really don't care, but he is a Power Rangers diehard fan. Okay, if you had to choose between the two, what would you pick, Power Rangers or Dragon Ball Z?
Oh man, that's bad. That's a tough question. I would probably say Dragon Ball. I think it'd have to go Dragon Ball.
That's freaking awesome. All right, so Dustin, suck it. Dragon Ball is better than Power Rangers for sure. Now, so Austin asked, was Kickstarter always the plan, or was the idea to originally pitch it to a publisher?
So that's a good question. So originally, it's always kind of there nothing's off the table, right? So I have pitched it. I have pitched it to some publishers. Obviously, with the way things are going right now, we don't know what's going to happen with any of that stuff, right? So
yeah.
So I figure, well, I can always get a publisher for a trade later, and use Kickstarter as a way to build a fan base and get it out there to people, and not have to wait. So, and that's kind of, I think, the plan right now.
Awesome. So my local comic shop owner, Josh Olive here, said, I feel like Alan Moore's beard is jealous of Kenny Aiken's beard. Is that sacrilegious?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's awesome, man. All right. So, and then Justin asked, is it too early to ask to be on that book?
absolutely not. You can we can bring you along.
So Justin, you get to be a part of hopefully Cluck, right? That's what you called it.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to call it. That's the working name for it anyways. I've been talking about it a lot lately because I want to like, so it's on record. So I'm like, okay, I talked about it now. Now I have to do it because that's
that is so sweet.
Otherwise sometimes you just can't get shit done unless you go, hey, I'm going to do this.
And you got to come up with a theme song for it too, man. Like Mighty Morphin Power Chickens and like go full blown. I don't know the Voltron song, but that's awesome, man.
I can't remember the original one.
And Josh came back and said G.I. Joe is better than both Power Rangers and Dragon Ball Z. So I don't know about that, Josh, but I will not argue with you because I want to make sure we stay on a great relationship. Now, Austin said Dragon Ball Dustin is going to be pissed. And again, I don't know if you've seen much Mecha Chickens. What's not to like? That is actually.
I have to redesign my. I have to go back and redesign. I have some of the original character designs are just stupid. They're pretty dumb.
But man, some of that stuff is just really fun. I mean, it really is enjoyable to just sit down and read some of that stuff. But so I want to kind of go back to one of the questions earlier about Kickstarter versus going to publisher and kind of what you're looking to do long term, right? So are you looking to continue doing the kind of the self-publish or self-owned IP, or are you looking to maybe move into writing for? Obviously, I think everybody would love to be the Marvel, DC, Donny Cates type person, but I mean, are you looking to stay with your own, personally owned IP, or would you do something like the Mad Cave Studios talent search and write, if you won that, write some books for some IP owned by a publisher, or kind of what is your career path, kind of what you're looking for out of this?
I think long term, I think it would be probably better to have a publisher. I think. Yeah. I think right now though, it's it's kind of up in the air. I think it's out there. So if a publisher comes along and says, hey, let's talk, then we'll talk. I guess that's.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, right. So, I mean, nobody's going to ever say no to anything like that. I'm just always curious because I've heard some people say, they absolutely don't want to do anything else other than do their own IP that they specifically are responsible for. And then other people, obviously, the main goal is just, let me get the Marvel and DC money. So I'm always interested to see kind of what creators, what their opinions of it are. So
yeah, I mean, if Marvel reached out and said, hey, write something for me, I don't think I probably wouldn't say no.
Obviously, right?
So
how you doing, Kate Titus? I hope you're doing well. Hello from Japan. So that's fantastic. And then Josh said, I hear even Donny Cates is jealous of Donny Cates.
It's probably true.
Oh man. So real quick, for some people that maybe are just joining us, I do want to kind of scroll through the Kickstarter one more time. So this is Apex, the Cybernetic Samurai Owl. And it's basically going to be a Mega Man meets Weapon X. And I just now read that. And then I asked you about that earlier. And now I feel silly for saying, oh, this sounds like Weapon X when it's clearly right here. Sorry, man. And then so
I just figured you read it. So you just had a good question lined up because, hey, that works, right?
You know what it was? It was subconscious. I saw it and I was like, man, this sounds just, it makes sense. But anyway, so you've met your initial funding goal of $3,000. You're $300 away from meeting that next stretch goal. So guys, let's see if we can get in there. 17 hours to go to back this project. And I'm going to scroll through kind of quickly some of the different options you have. $5, $10, $20, $30, $50, $75. And again, the link's in the description. Okay. So get on here, guys, back this Kickstarter. Okay. Even at the $10 mark, that's going to be absolutely huge. If we can get 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 people at a $10 mark, that's going to take Kinney quite a bit away, ways for him. And then, we'll start getting issues 2 and 3 and things like that. So you guys know how we feel about independent comics, and you literally don't get any more indie than, somebody like Kinney right here doing the self-published thing. I'm going back to this. Aaron John Townley. All right, man.
Hi, Aaron.
And so, Awesome, man. So one thing I do want to say, so guys, if you do back this, what I want you to do is drop a comment afterwards. Say, hey, I backed this. Saw your interview. I'm going to go on here. I'm going to back it. So I want you to drop that. And then what I'm going to do is after the Kickstarter is over, I'm going to everybody that's backed it in the comments, I'm going to do a random drawing, and we're going to send you a Two Brothers Comics mystery box. Okay, so we're going to pick one winner. And out of everybody, so if I get 10, 15, 30 people that back it, just comment down there, hey, I backed it. And it doesn't matter what tier. And we'll draw. It'll probably be this weekend, maybe during our Saturday Night Live show. I'll do a quick drawing, and we'll send you a Two Brothers Comics box. So if you back this, at any tier, you get a chance to not only pick up a great comic book and support an independent artist, but you're going to get a box full of comics from Two Brothers. So not a bad deal. What do you think, Kinney?
That's cool. I like that. That sounds really cool.
Awesome, man. And he didn't know about that.
I didn't know. That's a surprise to me. How do I get the box?
So back your own project, man. All right. So Josh asked, is there a retailer tier for this?
There isn't. I don't have a retailer tier right now.
Okay. All right. Ooh. There you go.
Awesome. Thanks, dude.
Yeah. So Austin, comment down below after this, obviously not in the live chat because it won't pull up whenever I do it, and just say, hey, I backed it. And then I'll run a random comment generator. Aaron said, I'm going to back it. So guys, any questions you have for Kinney, anything about his background, anything about Apex, let me know. And Kinney, anything else you want to talk about, anything you want to add to this before we kind of open it up for additional questions and then maybe finish off?
I don't think so. I think we covered pretty much everything. Yeah, I hope everybody enjoys the book that gets it. I've been working really hard on it, and Brian's working really hard on it. I got a lot of good support behind me. That's been helping me along the way. So, yeah, that's about it.
Nick, there better be stickers and coasters in that mystery box. Absolutely, Austin. I will throw in some stickers, some coasters. I just got a brand new batch of stickers in. And I'm actually working on another batch of stickers, the Two Brothers Comics TMNT stickers, and I'm working on creating some Super Mario Bro type stickers as well. So we'll get you taken care of if you happen to win the box. And then Josh said if you happen to add a retailer tier, let him know, and he'll carry it out of shop. So
I just added him on Facebook. So just awesome. Yeah, if I had come up with anything, I'm sure eventually, like I'm gonna start reaching out to retailers and try to get some books out there. So I'll definitely let you know. Absolutely,
man. Absolutely. Wonderful. So what I want to do before we wrap it up, I want to show some more of the interiors. Check it out. It's all you got to do is go to Kickstarter, type in Apex Cybernetic Owl, Apex Cybernetic Samurai Owl. Sorry. And check this out, guys. It's absolutely some fantastic stuff here. And who is this one by again?
That was by Nick Torres. Nick Torres.
Did you color this as well?
No, Nick Torres did it.
How did you decide on your color palette you were using for this stuff?
I just went through and just looked at just different movies and different types of things. Just kind of try to set a mood with the colors. So like you got like Mad Scientist kind of vibe with laboratories, and then like autumn in Japan kind of just looking up reference photos from different different websites and stuff, and just go, okay, well, what does autumn in Japan look like, and kind of just kind of apply that to the book.
You definitely nailed it here. This right here, the color palette. The pinks, the oranges, the reds. It's nice. It's very, very good. And again, and you feel like right here, man. You feel like, yeah, that's awesome. So, all right. That's awesome, man. So I'm going to back it for sure. Tyler Glass. Yep, absolutely, man. And he said, if I happen to win. Justin doesn't have a coaster. We told him we were going to send him some stuff and ended up sending him a red Hulk because he couldn't find one, and we found it. And I never ended up getting a coaster.
It's so good. That red Hulk is amazing.
Dustin ended up finding 2 of these at Target, man, for retail price versus the $70 people are wanting for it online. But
That's great. That's pretty rare. I guess it's pretty rare, huh?
Well, yeah, basically, and then it's a Target exclusive, I think. So everybody came in, bought them all up, and you know, kind of like just spec comics. If there's a spec comic, somebody will go in there and buy 50 of them and turn around and sell them for, you know, 5, 6, 7 times the price.
Right.
But awesome, man. So anything else, Kinney? If not, what we'll do is we'll wrap it up. Everybody, again, if you back this, drop a comment afterwards. Let me know. We have 17 hours, probably 16 hours left now. And I'll do a drawing, and you'll get a box of comics from Two Brothers Comics, okay? So, Kinney, anything else you want to add, talk about, discuss?
I don't think so. Thanks for having me on. I mean, I really appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Cool. Awesome. And I had the wrong thing up. So go check him out at Kinney Aiken Art. You're on Instagram, Twitter, and you're also, is your Facebook, is it more of a public thing, or is it more personal?
Yeah, if you friend request me on Facebook, I'll accept it.
Okay. All right. So reach out to him with any questions, concerns. Kinney, thank you so much for coming on, talking about this for a little bit. And hopefully it'll have a big impact, and definitely come back on whenever it's time for issue number 2. Once we get off of here, I'm going to, again, push this out to Twitter, Facebook, and all the good stuff again, and retweet some of the things you have going on. And I'm going to share some stuff on Instagram as well. So guys, thank you so much in the chat for being here tonight. And again, we appreciate it. So Kinney, it's a kind of a tradition. Anytime somebody's on, our saying is collect your way. Okay.
Okay.
I lost my headphone here. So collect your way is our tradition, and end with the finger guns. Okay. So you got them ready? Have you seen this before?
I haven't seen it, but I'm ready.
All right. So guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Check out Kinney. And as always, collect your way.
Collect your way.
Yeah. Where to go? See, we need 2 people to run this. Good night, guys.